On today's topic, we will discuss the procedures of obtaining a phytosanitary certificate related to plant quarantine with the case of sawn timber edgewood imported to Vietnam. Let us give you an example with a case study. In May 2022, Vietnam Thiên An Wood Co. Ltd. wants to import one cargo of sawn timber edge birch from LLC Lesbro, Garance, Russia. There were 16 packages of birch shipped from Kyiv region carried by trains and ships, which were landed in Vietnam and then only be unloaded when all the procedures are finished. In this case, Vietnam Thiên An Wood Co. Ltd. needs to meet the requirements with a phytosanitary certificate for sawn timber edge birch. So what is a phytosanitary certificate? Let me give you some particular definition. Phytosanitary certificate is an official paper document or its official electronic equivalent, consistent with the model certificates of the IPPC, attesting that a consignment meets the phytosanitary import requirements regarding plants. With imported goods that are related to or of plant origin, quarantine is to ensure that pathogens do not follow the goods imported into our country. With exported goods, the work is similar to prove that goods meet quarantine conditions for exporting to foreign countries. If the shipment is not quarantined, it will be postponed during custom clearance. Foreign orders related to plants imported to Vietnam without the phytosanitary certificates will face fines and many treatments. According to Vietnamese regulation, to import goods to this market, exporters and importers need to provide a phytosanitary certificate for this kind of cargo. Plants, tubers, seeds for propagation, fruits and vegetative, cut flowers, and processed plant products, for example wood or cotton. Foreign orders related to plants imported to Vietnam without the phytosanitary certificates will face fines and many treatments. Treatment measures include fumigation, heat treatment, hot steam treatment, irradiation, re-export, destruction, export and import suspension, export or import ban, and other measures. Back to the case where Vietnam Thiên An Wood Co. Ltd. needs to prepare documents to admit it to import this cargo as listed. Firstly, an application for registration of quarantine according to the form, 2 copies. Secondly, the plant inspection certificate is issued by the competent plant protection organization of the exporting country. Copy or original can be used for registration. In case the object owner submits a photocopy, the original must be submitted before being granted a phytosanitary certificate for import, transit, and inland transportation for the batch of objects. Next is copy of the bill of lading. Lastly, if it is a food product, they need to attach a certificate of registration of food hygiene and safety inspection according to the form with 2 copies. Besides a large amount of documents needed to be submitted, there are 2 different application methods. The first method will be applying in person, which is the most used one. Businesses need to fill in the registration form specified in Appendix 1, issued together with Circular 15 in 2020 as shown below. If there are any difficulties in applying directly in person, whether the long distances or the social distancing, there is a second method, which is applying online. Businesses need to access to this website. If Vietnam Thiên An Wood Co. has registered for an account and has been approved by the custom officer, they should enter the account information to access the system. If they do not have an account on the system, they need to register for an account. Click the sign to register. After registration is complete, send an email to Bộ phận hỗ trợ chq@custom.gov.vn specifying the content you want to join the procedure. Plant quarantine of the Ministry of Agriculture on the National Single Window. On the National Single Window website, they can look up their old registration, register, change their registration, pay the fees, check the status of their registrations, and withdraw their registration. Next, the goods will be inspected by the Plant Quarantine Office. After the documents Vietnam Thiên An Wood Co. Ltd. has sent or approved, the Plant Quarantine Office will decide a location of inspection and arrange officials to immediately inspect the goods in the following order.
Preliminary inspection includes external inspection of the batch of goods, the packaging, means of transport. The crevices and places where pests can hide, and collecting flying, crawling, or clinging insects outside the batch of goods. Detailed inspection includes internal inspection and sampling of the consignment according to the provisions of QCVN 01141 2013 BNNPTNT, National Technical Regulation on Methods of Sampling for Plant Quarantine, and collecting symptomatic objects and harmful organisms. If such samples exist and are collected, the Plant Quarantine Office will then send the samples to the Organization of Assessment of Harmful Organisms. The organization shall conduct the assessment of harmful organisms and return the results to the Plant Quarantine Office.
Receive phytosanitary certificate. Việt Nam Thiên An Wood needs to wait for the Plant Quarantine Office to issue a phytosanitary certificate for import 24 hours from the start of the quarantine for the batch of goods that are not infected with symptomatic objects and harmful organisms. In case it takes more than 24 hours due to professional and technical requirements, or the phytosanitary certificate cannot be issued, Plant Quarantine Office must notify or reply in writing to clearly state the reasons for Việt Nam Thiên An Wood. In case of detecting a batch of objects infected with plant quarantine subjects, the Plant Protection Office shall decide to apply phytosanitary treatment measures to objects according to the regulations. In case the batch of objects transported by a seagoing vessel has a cargo hold height of 3 meters or more, it must be divided into several layers for inspection. After inspecting each layer, based on the inspection results, the Plant Protection Office shall issue a certificate of temporary issuance of phytosanitary results for volume of inspected objects. Difficulties in applying for phytosanitary certificate. During the application for a phytosanitary certificate for import, Việt Nam Thiên An Wood might face some difficulties in presenting a required documents. In the case that a firm apply for a phytosanitary certificate for export or for transit, the firm might also faces. First is the difficulties in meeting the requirements of the importing countries. And second is the difficulties in complying with market requirements for phytosanitary activities to be undertaken within a specified time frame.
In this video, we have indicated the process of applying for a phytosanitary certificate together with Việt Nam Thiên An Wood Co. Ltd. If you find our video helpful, please like and subscribe. Should you have any questions, please feel free to comment down below. Thank you.